This is a story about this lady, this guy, this girl, the one on the right. She's this lady's daughter. And this guy. He's a film producer. Some of these people will be arrested. Somebody will lose a finger. This is the story of Genesis Reyes versus Gerald Peduzzi and Kylie Filmhouse. What first brought this Russian family into the public eye began with a lawsuit initiated by Ana Ayala, who's the mother of Genesis Reyes. On Thursday, the 24th of March 2005, she found a severed finger in her chili at a Wendy's fast food restaurant in California.
Well, as I was eating my chili, and I usually crack all my crackers and just put them in there, mix it all around, and started eating the way usually people eat. And suddenly I chew something that's kind of hard, crunchy, spit it out. At first I wasn't sure what it was. And as we started investigating, poking it, other people too, that's when we find that there's something that looks like a nail.
What may be more shocking and disgusting than finding a finger in your chili truly is actually having been the one to put it there. After months of careful investigation, Ana Ayala dropped the case once someone called the missing finger hotline about a possible match. Ayala and her husband, Jamie Plastenia, were arrested for planting a finger in Ana's chili in order to unlawfully sue the company. This was one of many lawsuits that she and her husband, as well as various family members, possibly worked together to concoct for monetary gain over many years. From lawsuits of her daughter Genesis contracting salmonella poisoning at El Pollo Loco, to suing General Motors for car tires falling off, to filing for sexual harassment by her employer. A total of 13 lawsuits in California and Nevada had been filed. Now we introduce Gerald Peduzzi. He is a film director in San Diego, California with Kylie Filmhouse. He took this story and dramatized it to a full-length documentary-style film. It was called The Accomplice. It depicted the events of the 13 lawsuits from the perspective of Genesis Reyes, Elia's daughter. Seeking cooperation from the family with no avail, Peduzzi continued to produce the film with significant literary license. In the film, Genesis helps her mother along with other family members to fake occurrences in order to sue people and companies for millions of dollars. They are portrayed as having many Italian job-style strategy meetings, plotting each lawsuit carefully. In the film, they show disdain for the United States, including slander of the president and other public figures. Elia and her husband abuse Genesis and force her to be part of their plans. Upon release of Accomplice, Genesis Reyes and her family began a lawsuit against Gerald Peduzzi's and Kylie Filmhouse. They wanted $2 million for infringement on their right of publicity, right to privacy, and defamation of character. They felt their privacy had been unlawfully invaded and used for commercialization purposes without consent. They said they had ruined their image by misconstruing events and misrepresenting the members of their family. They claimed the fabrications of Gerald Peduzzi's and his production company were an embarrassment and had caused severe emotional damage. Kylie Filmhouse's defense attorneys claimed fair use under the public domain. The life of a public figure belonged to them as citizens of America. They claimed once their lawsuit became famous nationwide, they had the right to use the public information for their film. Genesis and her family were required to prove that false statements were made with actual malice, or a reckless disregard for the truth. They would also have to demonstrate that the false light in which they were portrayed would be highly offensive to a reasonable person, in addition to the other requirements. The suits against Gerald Peduzzi's and Kylie Filmhouse for right of publicity and right to privacy were lost. The Los Angeles, California court ruled that information in open court records is privileged. They said that someone who had become a celebrity, even involuntarily, could not avoid publicity. The family did convince the court that the false light in which they were portrayed would be highly offensive to a reasonable person, but were not able to maintain that actual malice or a reckless disregard for the truth was true of Gerald Peduzzi's and Kylie Filmhouse. On May 16 of 2009, the final lawsuit for defamation of character was also lost. Genesis and her family still face court proceedings for various lawsuits they had falsified in the past. Ayala and her husband will complete their 9 years this July for their counts of attempted grand larceny related to the Chile incident. They also face up to 13 years for attempted grand theft in an unrelated case. Oh, in case you were wondering, on May 13, 2005, police announced they had identified the fingertip as belonging to an associate of Alaya's husband. The associate had lost his fingertip in an industrial accident at an asphalt company. The police had received the information from an undisclosed caller to the Wendy's hotline.